everybody, this is Russ Carson Jr., one of the genealogists here at Family Tree Nuts, and we're at Fitchburg Furnace. We're here in Estill County, Kentucky, way out in the county, and I'm here with a special guest. Want to introduce yourself?
My name is Cam Jackson. I'm one of the family historians.
And her family has lived in this Millers Creek area for how long?
Around 130 years.
About 130 years. So that makes her the absolute expert on the Fitchburg Furnace, right?
Right.
No, but her family's lived in the area here. The furnace was at first originally called the Red River Furnace because of its area that it is. But now it's named after Fitchburg Furnace, named after the person who created it, Mr. Frank Finch. Do you remember what year the furnace was built?
It was built in 1868.
1868.
The peak of the iron industry.
Peak of the iron industry. And what were they using the iron for at the time?
For the railroad.
For the railroad.
The
railroad industry was huge during that time. Right now we're in the middle of nowhere in the boonies, but at the time they put this particular furnace here because we're right next to Millers Creek, which flows directly into the Kentucky River, which flows into the Ohio River. So it's kind of on a highway really at that time, and wasn't technically in the boonies then. So like I said, it was built in 1868, opened in 1869, and there grew up a community around here. What was the name of the community?
Fitchburg.
Fitchburg, named after Mr. Fitch, and it grew up to a pretty big population. What was the population at one?
Around 1,000 people.
1,000 people. They had all kinds of things here. What kind of buildings were here?
They had a store, they had a post office, jail.
A jail.
Hotel.
So it grew up to a pretty big community around here. Had several churches and things that were here, and I think it was the last charcoal iron facility in America. So that's pretty cool.
That's right.
And of the type of furnace that it is, it's the largest furnace in the world. So people have been coming to this place since the 70s to see this because it's kind of an oddity kind of thing for it to be seen like that. How tall is the furnace now?
It stands 81 feet.
81 feet tall. You can see it. That's why we've had such a hard time getting a shot here. We filmed this how many times? 17, 18? Trying to get the good shot with to be able to see us and the furnace and behind us there. But 81 feet tall, and it has how many inside there? There's two. What are they?
Smokestacks.
Yeah, smokestacks inside there, and we've got some shots that we're showing you of the inside. It's absolutely fascinating to see what's inside there. The smokestacks names are nicknamed Blackstone and Chandler, or what the two of them are called there. At the time of its construction, do you remember how much it cost?
Over $160,000.
$160,000 in 1868, 1869. It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
When you invest that much money into an area or to a business, it's built to last for a very, very long time. How long did it last?
4 years.
4 years? What happened? Why did they shut down?
Just over speculation.
By who?
The railroad.
Yeah, the railroad, because that's what this iron was for. It was originally used to be a railroad, the big boom and the railroad boom. And then what else happened?
Well, they just found that they could produce it cheaper in Alabama.
In Alabama, I think around Birmingham, Alabama, it was very close, more accessible to some areas, the railroads that were already there. So it was only owned for 4 years, and this place closed in 1873. And it sat here for a long, long time. It was on family land. And how long did it sit here?
100 years.
100 years
Over
or so.
100 years.
Yeah, kind of thing. And so the furnace sat abandoned for about 100 years here. And only some local people would come, maybe have some picnics and things like that. And it was rediscovered in the late 1960s as there was an explosion. What's the local story of what happened for an explosion?
Well, the local story is that a moonshiner got tired of people prowling around on his property, so he caused an explosion.
He blew it up, so people get that. So some people think there might have been somebody trying to get some iron ore that was in the smokestacks, but they think maybe a local moonshiner blew it up to keep people from coming out on his property. So that was pretty neat. They went through a massive restoration of this, and I've got some shots that I'm showing you of the restoration that happened. It was really an amazing feat to be able to get this furnace back to the way that it is now for us all to enjoy. Now there's a campground right real close by. We're actually, it's a historic site in the Daniel Boone National Forest. And it's a pretty neat thing here. We've got some shots I'm showing you all around of this furnace. It's really an amazing feat that's right here, and it's pretty accessible. What are we, about 20 minutes from Irvin?
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
Kind of thing like that. And so it's a really neat spot, and someplace you might want to check out. It's a neat little historic area. This is the Fitchburg Furnace, and remember, Family Tree Nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.